Topic 1. Fragile U.S. Iran ceasefire and persistent regional tensions. The United States and Iran agreed to a conditional 2-week ceasefire that paused U.S. strikes and led Iran to say it would allow passage through the Strait of Hormuz in coordination with its military. But the deal is fragile, with talks set for Islamabad and deep mutual mistrust and differing interpretations. Despite the announcement, Iran launched ballistic missiles and drones targeted Israel and Gulf states, triggering early warning alerts in Tel Aviv and interceptions by the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar, while mass drone attacks strained air defense systems and limited interception effectiveness. Gulf states have likely depleted large shares of their interceptor stocks, estimates like Kuwait 75%, Bahrain up to 87%, and recent attacks have caused physical damage to energy and infrastructure, including impacts on Qatar's LNG and critical supplies such as helium. Shipping through the strait shows only a limited recovery. Iran may impose inspections or fees, reports of crypto demands. Markets rallied and oil fell sharply. U.S. Treasury yields dropped, and analysts warn the ceasefire is a temporary pause requiring further agreements and trust building to hold. Topic 2. Rapid market and policy adjustments after geopolitical shock and relief. Financial markets quickly repriced policy and risk after the U.S.-Iran pause. CME FedWatch shifted Fed cut odds sharply higher, roughly from 14% to 43%, with markets pricing December rates near 3.5%, current effective about 3.64%. Oil swung violently, spiking above $170 a barrel at one point, then plunging roughly 15 to 18% into the mid-$90s, while U.S. equity futures and major indexes surged. S&P up about 2.5% at open, NASDAQ 3%, and 10-year Treasury yields fell, about 7 basis points in one readout. Investors feel relief, but core uncertainties remain: Hormuz transit, energy and logistics recovery, and the risk of renewed escalation. So the rally's durability is unclear. Short-term, event-driven trading and interest in energy-linked assets rose, and market attention turns to PCE and CPI prints for inflation and policy guidance. Topic 3. Trump's hardline rhetoric draws international rebuke and removal calls. Amid the fragile ceasefire, President Trump made hardline statements, including a nuclear threat-style line, reportedly saying a civilization will disappear tonight, and threats to impose immediate 50% tariffs on all U.S. imports from countries arming Iran, that provoked strong criticism and calls for his removal from Democrats and some leaders. Some House Democrats have pushed impeachment or invoked the 25th Amendment, though mainstream Republicans judge removal unlikely given congressional dynamics and cabinet support. Even some GOP figures publicly urged restraint. International leaders such as Spain's Pedro Sanchez publicly rebuked this posture, and Spain has taken measures limiting U.S. military operations on its bases, while analysts warn Trump-style pressure tactics and inflammatory rhetoric could complicate efforts to build lasting peace after the ceasefire. Topic 4. AI advances heighten cyber risk and create long-term workforce scars. Goldman Sachs research warns that workers displaced by AI suffer short-term reemployment delays, about a month on average, and a several percent real wage hit, with long-term scars leaving displaced workers roughly 10 percentage points lower in real income even a decade later. Retraining and shifting to higher abstraction roles mitigate losses, making large-scale reskilling a key policy priority. Anthropic's new model, Mythos, reportedly excels at finding and exploiting software vulnerabilities, prompting the company to withhold general release and instead provide the model to major tech firms, security vendors, chip makers, the Linux Foundation, and select government partners for defensive use only. Claims that Mythos has already surfaced thousands of previously unknown vulnerabilities under verification amplify expert calls for firms to harden